Hi friends, welcome back once again to our channel 6WTV. Today in this video we will explain how to be proactive in your life. The first habit in Steve Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is, be proactive. Being proactive entails actively managing your life, making objectives, and working toward them. You go out and create your own events and opportunities rather than responding to events and waiting for chances. Being proactive is actively creating your own occurrences rather than only responding to those that already exist. Most individuals tend to think in response. And responding to certain occurrences is just okay. However, it becomes an issue when intuitively responding to stimuli is all there is to a person's existence. According to Steve Covey, there is a lag between stimulus and reaction, and inside that lag is the possibility for us to pick our reaction. Our ability comes from 4 unique human endowments. Self-awareness is the knowledge that you can choose your reaction to a stimulation. You have the option to remain calm if you are insulted by someone. You have the option to decline a donut if one is given to you. Conscience, the capacity to use your inner compass to guide your decisions. No matter what is now socially acceptable, you may base your decisions on unchangeable values. The capacity to envision alternate answers is known as creative imagination. You may mentally produce and assess several choices by utilizing your imagination. Independent will, you are free to select a special answer of your own. You are not compelled to live up to others' expectations of you. One of these 4 human endowments is frequently lacking, which might be linked to a lack of initiative. It's possible that you're living too much of your life in a semi-conscious state and never rising to the degree of awareness required to make proactive choices in your life. Because of cultural indoctrination, it's possible that you don't even know what you want out of life. Instead of asking yourself what seems right or wrong, you turn to other people for guidance. Perhaps you aren't giving yourself enough time to consider alternatives. Or perhaps the pressure to live up to others' expectations is preventing you from acting on your own free choice. On some level, it may be claimed that we're always responding to both internal and exterior events. The degree of mental processing that takes place between stimulus and reaction may then be used to compare proactivity and reactivity. A proactive individual will pick a response by using the 4 human endowments, or to choose no response at all. But more than that, a proactive individual will take the time to make deliberate life decisions and carry them through. People that react quickly often lack awareness of their basic ideals. They adopt transient ideals from those around them rather than living by immutable basic ideas. If no unique possibilities arise, they will continue working at the same job for as long as it is semi-satisfying. They will likely exercise if the majority of their pals do, otherwise, they won't. They don't control the flow, rather, they go with the people and events around them. They prefer to only use their human abilities when they absolutely have to, such if they were fired abruptly, and even then, it's frequently to a limited degree. Their lives are mostly outside of their direct conscious control. But when things are going well, much of life happens automatically. On the other hand, proactive people are conscious of their basic principles. They deliberately base important decisions on these principles. They choose their own possibilities and control how their lives unfold. They still choose carefully even when things are going well. Maintaining the status quo is sometimes necessary, but other times it's necessary to change course. Their values may occasionally be in line with what is considered to be acceptable in society, but not always. Individuals that are proactive typically do acts that reactive people find puzzling. Even if things appear to be going well for them, they may abruptly leave their employment to launch a new business. When it appears that there is no apparent external motivation for doing so, they frequently begin new initiatives or hobbies, out of the blue. A proactive person will still be aware of what is going on outside of themselves, but they will steer themselves in the direction they want to go. The ship would follow the currents if a reactive individual were the captain. This individual would be focused with researching the currents and attempting to foretell the location of the ship given the currents. This individual feels content when there are strong currents. This person gets agitated if the currents are weak. This individual could occasionally try to establish a destination. If the currents are favorable, the ship will arrive. However, if the currents are weak, this individual will lament them and abandon the goal in favor of one that is simpler. However, if a proactive person commanded a ship, the vessel would sail in the direction of the captain. The currents would still be noted by this captain, but they would only be utilized for navigation. The ship would sometimes go with the currents and other times go against them. It doesn't really matter if the currents are strong or weak, this skipper will still get where he's going. Only the precise path from the starting point to the ultimate destination and the time of arrival are under the control of the currents. The final destination, however, is entirely up to the captain's discretion. The currents have no control over it. Reactive, proactive, language examples include: where is the sector headed? How will I get there and where should I go next? No time for workout for me. How can I schedule exercise? What kind of earnings can I anticipate if I accomplish my dream home? What will I do to generate money? How much do I want to make? I'll give it a go and see how it goes. I will do it. I'm too worn out. How can I raise my energy level? Math has never come naturally to me. How can I enhance my mathematical abilities while having fun? I have no actual inspiration. What challenge would I take on knowing I couldn't fail? What purpose does life serve? What purpose do I want to offer my life? Reactive individuals are very concerned about reading other people's pulses. They typically view themselves as being at the mercy of market conditions and seek for solid employment in good industries. If they are successful in starting a new firm, it is likely because they know many people who have already succeeded and wish to follow in their footsteps. In order to replicate what is working, they want to know what goods and services are popular. If they fail, it will be because the sector is struggling, there is too much competition, or other often stated unlucky outside circumstance. Do you believe that your level of success in your pursuits will be influenced by anything that occurs out there? Not if you take initiative. External circumstances can only have an impact on your arrival time and the precise route you take to your destination if you are proactive. However, they cannot set your objective for you. Even if proactive individuals occasionally get tossed around by the currents, they simply change their course to retarget their objectives, which are ultimately within their own power to achieve. Everyone naturally possesses a combination of proactivity and reactivity. Rarely do we find pure examples of the two extremes. You can discover that while being exceedingly proactive in one area, you allow other areas of your life to operate on unconsciously set autopilot. Use your self-awareness, conscience, imaginative creativity, and autonomous will to illuminate those neglected aspects of your life and intentionally decide to move things forward. Change your course if you don't like where the currents are leading you. Make your own chance instead of waiting for one to present itself. When you do this, the reactive individuals in your life will frequently object, so let them to do so and yet exercise your free will. You may still be proactive even if it looks like everyone else is reacting. At first, that could feel like swimming against the flow, but if your life's currents are already taking you in the wrong direction, that's a good thing. Although it's frequently advised to go with the flow, the appropriateness of this counsel relies on the direction the river is taking. For instance, following the trend in American health now entails gaining weight, leading a sedentary lifestyle free of exercise, and eventually passing away from either cancer or heart disease. Financially, following the crowd implies steadily accruing debt before becoming bankrupt. Following our marriage's natural course inevitably leads to divorce. 67% of Americans who were married in 1990 may anticipate this outcome. Sources: Daniel Goleman's Emotional Intelligence and John Gottman's What Predicts Divorce. After high school, I read no more factual books since that's how our educational system works. The consequences of following our environmental habits are, believe me, not even worth mentioning. You frequently have to go against the grain of what everyone else seems to be doing if you want to lead an outstanding life. You have the option to opt out of being one of the XXX billion serviced. In some ways, you're shifting to letting the current of your own self-awareness and consciousness guide you. Instead of being carried along by the flow of external stimuli, you tune into your inner flow. Sure, you may win the lottery or get a sizable inheritance, but it's quite unlikely that you'll suddenly become wealthy, healthy, or fulfilled. These are decisions that must be made carefully, followed by dedicated action. Where is your life's current leading you? Where will you end up if you keep moving with the currents of your life as they are right now? And what won't you ever have, since those currents just don't stop at some places? How can you use your initiative and human potential to steer your life's direction, despite of the currents, and consciously design the sort of life you desire rather than letting it happen by accident? Activism goes under many names. It is described as using your personal power by Tony Robbins. Those who don't establish objectives for themselves are forever bound to labor for the ambitions of others, says Brian Tracy. Dennis Whitley contrasts the actions of those who win and those who fail. The proactive are described as no-limit individuals by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Achievers is how Roger Dawson describes them. Co-creators is how Barbara Marx Hubbard describes them. David Allen uses the phrases having a mind like water and being prepared for anything. The particular words don't matter. Making the choice to stop letting outside currents control your life and to begin actively taking control of it is what matters. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Thanks.